TxStampin Sharon. I have a really easy card for you to make today, and I had a blast making it. So I have some tips and tricks to share with you. If you've not already subscribed to my channel, you can do so below. After you subscribe, you can hit that little bell. You'll be notified the next time I upload a video. I do videos on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. All right. Let me know what you think about this card. I love hearing your comments, and I had, like I said, a blast making it. So let's do it. Here's the card that I'm going to demonstrate for you today. It was super easy and super fast to put together, but I kind of had to play with the layout. I was like, I'm not sure how this is going to work. So I'm going to walk you through my tips on how I decided how big my flower box was and things like that. But super cute card. I added some little stones, rhinestones there, some little pearls, and I think it turned out really cute. I used some of the wood textures paper, and obviously some of them are too dark to stamp on. So I picked a lighter one, and all I did was cut it. I cut a 1-inch strip, and so the paper measures 6 inches. And since I didn't know how big of a piece I was gonna need, this is how I made my decision. So I am gonna scoot this down just a little bit because I need to stamp my sentiment up there, and I almost didn't have enough room on my other one. But I just laid this across the paper like that, okay? I didn't attach it, I didn't stick it down, I didn't do anything. I just laid it there. And I picked up my, oh, I forgot to tell you, I'm using the stamp set Forever Lovely. This stamp set is going to continue into the next annual catalog. Whoop, whoop, super excited about that. I'm using Calypso Coral and Pear Pizzazz for my colors. Just gonna ink up my flower, and I think that moved. I think I hit it with my hand. And I'm just gonna stamp the flowers directly, whoops, I wanna get it centered, directly onto the paper, all pieces of paper. In other words, the Designer Series paper and the Whisper White. I'll hold that down. And I don't know if you can see on the video, but see how there's a gap where the lip of the paper didn't allow the ink to touch the Whisper White? Don't worry about it. I was freaked out at first. I was like, nope, this is gonna work. I'm just gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. Next, we're gonna ink up the leaves using the Pear Pizzazz. Now, this takes a little bit of getting used to. Which way do I need to do it? So there is a section of leaves that go up, and they go up around this big rose, okay? That's my first thing that I look at to line up. And then the rest of them kind of look like they're gonna stamp leaves on these flowers, but they don't. So I'm gonna line that up. And I can't get my head quite over it, so I might be off just a tad. We'll see how I do. I forget that the camera is in my way, and if I stick my head in, all you'll see is my hairdo. All right, so I'm just holding that ink there, letting as much get off of the stamp and onto my paper. Hey, I did excellent. See how my leaves all line up? Everything lines up? I did good. All right. Now I'm gonna take this away, and I'm not even gonna measure, but I will tell you it ends up being right at 4 inches. So if you wanna go ahead and just cut a strip that is 1 inch by 4 inch, you'll be fine. But like I said, I didn't know how big of a piece I was gonna need. So I'm gonna walk you through how I created it. All right, so to form my little flower box, I'm just gonna do that. And I'm gonna do that. May not be perfect on both sides, but you know what? I think it's pretty close. Maybe this one can come in just a little bit. You don't wanna whittle away too much because then you won't have anything left. All right, I'm happy. Next, we're gonna use some dimensionals. Oh, before I do that, I decided there is a small little stamp right here and a small leaf. I decided to add some more greenery to it by using this little frondy one. And I'm just going to kind of overlap it a little bit. Just to give it some more height, I guess. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this one. But on this one, let me grab a piece of scrap paper. I don't really like to stamp on my paper piercer. It's a scrap piece, you can tell. All right, so on this one, I want to come down and I want my stem, the end of it, to be on my scrap paper. Make sense? Just to give it some more greenery. Okay. Now we're going to take our dimensionals, and you do need 4, so that actually I think I used 5 because this is a thin designer series paper. We want to give it as much support as we can. I didn't think about maybe adding it to a layer of cardstock. I just beefed it up, I guess, with dimensionals. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment up here in the corner. Wishing you a lovely day. And then we're gonna go ahead and add our layer. Okay, so this piece was 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And then this piece is 4 inches by 5 1/4. Whoops, we got dimensional backing in there. I tell you, those things are like little magnets. They're everywhere. I have a piece of Whisper White Thick. I prefer to use the thick as my card base because it's got such a good feel. It is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored and folded at 4 1/4. We're gonna add this layer with some snail. I think you could use this type of layout, what I'm doing, with any floral stamp set. But you know, as I was looking at my stamp sets, I mean, I had the idea in my head and I'm like, oh, that stamp's too big. Those flowers are too big. I needed something small so that it wouldn't look funny in my little flower box. So I have to ask, does this look like a flower box? All right, so remember our gap that we had earlier? I actually want to try to bring this up enough to where you don't see the gap. So I'm kind of bringing it up some. All right, last thing I decided to do, there are some little pearls and they are called Share What You Love. And I wanted just something in the center of my flowers, and I felt like this little soft, I don't even think this is Calypso Coral. I don't even know what color that is, but it looks like Calypso Coral. It's not too pink. We're just gonna add those. They're tiny. Let's see, I think that's it. Okay. What do you think about my little flower box? Looks very springy, don't you think? Does it look like a flower box to you? I thought it did, using the wood textures paper. I hope that you will give this a try. It takes you that long to do, I promise. So happy stamping, y'all.